It's a warm night in the town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay. Michael Joy is at home at the Labrador Inn. He's been here off and on for 2 years.
It was not the best place, but the only place.
Joy is one of about 20 people who live here and is part of a growing number of people housed in hotels instead of homes. The province pays a nightly rate. Right now, that's $161 per night for a place to sleep and 3 meals. In 1 year, taxpayers spent $1.4 million here, and for security, about $46,000 per month.
Technically, we are a hotel, absolutely, but our largest client at this point would be Newfoundland Labrador Housing for sure. We've had some people who have hit the 3-year mark and 4-year mark.
Bill Dormady and his staff see it all. People in the throes of addiction, battling trauma passed on from their parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. Deep wounds of colonialism, violence, death.
We do our best, but other than we have one caseworker 2 days a week, that's basically what we have.
People don't just live at the Labrador Inn, they die here too. Frederica Benuin, a young Innu woman from Natwashish, froze to death outside in January 2022. This year, 2 longtime residents died of natural causes. One, after hearing he only had days to live, requested to return to the Labrador Inn, saying he wanted to die at home.
We're going to help as long as we can, but when it comes to a certain point, they have to find a solution. So as a business, yes, we are a hotel, and we are not a non-profit. We're a privately owned company, and we're in the business of making money. This whole process will have a shelf life, and there will come a time when we won't be able to continue to house them when we move forward with our other plans, which is not as a homeless shelter or a overflow for a homeless shelter, but an assisted living program and a hotel.
For some, hope lies here, on this barren stretch at the site of a former tree nursery, with promises of a housing hub big enough to accommodate everyone. A 30-bed emergency shelter, 20 transitional housing bedrooms, and 20 supportive housing units, on-site health care, and given the majority of the clients are Indigenous, culturally appropriate programming. The province wants to push forward. $30 million has been set aside for the project, and government didn't create the plan in a vacuum. It was developed with Indigenous communities, emergency shelter administrators, police, and the health authority. But there's a problem.
Well, it's a very contentious issue here in this town. Some feel that there's a divide amongst the town of what they would want going forward.
That division is in plain sight and in the inboxes of local politicians.
So this is a young fellow. I personally have only received 1 email urging, for approval. The rest of it has been primarily negative comments.
For members of council, all conversations about the town lead back to this.
Oh, I'll just give you an example. We went through a strategic plan. We're trying to update our strategic plan for the next number of years. In every single focus group that we had, whether it was volunteers, seniors, business, every issue circled back to here.
Council will eventually have to vote on whether or not to allow the development because the area is zoned as discretionary use. But Andrews says there are too many unanswered questions. There's a strong desire for the facility to have addiction services and detox, and so far that doesn't appear to be part of the plan. Keeping it status quo is not desirable either.
If I had to vote right now, if I was walking into this building to vote, I don't know how I would vote. My responsibility as mayor is to represent the folks that put me here, and what I'm going to do is take that direction.
The Salvation Army feeds hungry people each week. Out of this van, Byron Keane meets those who are most in need.
The flow of people through our doors is steady. There may have been a small uptake over the past little while, but not a major uptake where we can't handle it.
The Salvation Army is among a group who have been advocating and working toward a new facility.
The hope for this facility is to see individuals who are wanting to come away from homelessness into affordable housing or into housing where they can support themselves, and to give them that sense of freedom, that sense of accomplishment, of getting their own place.
Perhaps unsurprisingly, Keane holds a lot of faith that the town will pull together to make the project happen. The stakes, he says, are too high. It's 9 a.m. and Toby Noah is making his way to breakfast at the current shelter. He spent the night in the woods, nothing new for him, but this time he's been hurt, beaten up overnight. Noah says he doesn't know much about plans for a new shelter. It would be nice, he says, but no one's asked for his opinion.
What do you foresee for yourself for the next year or the next couple of years? Where do you see yourself?
Don't know. Could be here.
Ariana Kelland, CBC News, Happy Valley-Goose Bay.